amazing, incredible specialist in all things launchy. And so I am here with my very first live here on this page. Hello, world. And I want to talk to you about the actual checklist that I gave you guys last week, because I want to start breaking it down. Hello, kitty cat. I want to start breaking it down. I got to move the keyboard so that the kitty cat can come cuddle on here, because apparently she wants to cuddle. So I want to spend the next week or two breaking down all the really important bits of the checklist that I gave you and why they're important and how to get them done a little bit. And if you're feeling like that's just scary and overwhelming, then maybe it's time to hire someone like me to help you put all the pieces together and actually make a go of it. Okay? Nothing terrifying here, I promise. So let's talk audiences first, because this is the piece that a lot of coaches get really hung up on, don't they? Your business coach, or all of your business coaches, have probably gotten really obsessive about your audience, about who your ideal client is. They've had you name her. They've had you pick her favorite coffee. They've had you pick what kind of vehicle she drives and what neighborhood she lives in your town. Maybe even the street. Maybe they've decided what she wears on a regular basis for clothes, or made you decide what she wears for clothes on a regular basis. What kind of shops she shops in. Here's the thing. All that stuff, toss it out. Because most of it has nothing to do with why they want the thing that you are offering. Okay? Your ideal client, all of the attributes that you're looking for in your ideal client should be based on the thing that you sell, whatever it is. So if you are a nutrition coach and your people are midlife women who are struggling with their weight and their midlife stuff, then your ideal client is a midlife woman who is struggling with her weight and all of the midlife crap that comes along with it. If your ideal client is, if you're a dating coach, for example, your ideal client is a woman in the age range that you want to serve because they resonate best with you, who is single and looking to figure out how to date again, or how to date. Maybe they've never dated before and they're trying to figure it out. Maybe they've dated, it hasn't gone well, and they need some more help. Maybe they're getting out of a divorce and they need that confidence boost to say, you're going to be fine. How do you get back into the dating scene? You niche it down really tight that way. But don't niche it down with, whether she prefers a latte or a mochaccino. Like, who cares? Who cares at the end of the day? But what you want to do is the idea of niching, the idea of figuring out your ideal client, is not about all the bits and pieces that make up the human psyche. It's about the bits and pieces that make up the human psyche that you are going to impact. So if you are, say, for example, in my other life, I'm also a coach who focuses on stress and anxiety in women. My ideal client, she's middle-aged. She's been a yes person for most of her life and a people pleaser. She is struggling to regain her identity, or even to find it for the first time. Maybe she didn't ever really have it, because that was me. I didn't ever really have an identity that wasn't built around someone else. And so those are the people that I resonate with. The people who they kind of thought they knew who they were, and they kind of thought that they were doing things the right way, but nothing ever really quite fit. You see where I'm going with that? Those are the people, okay? And it's really difficult with the way that Facebook does their algorithms and the way that all of this marketing targeting stuff works, it's really difficult to boil those pieces of information about your client down into things that you can actually target in ads. And so that's where your copy does most of the heavy lifting. Your copy speaks to all of those things that you are identifying as this is the person right now, and this is maybe their history, and this is where they want to go. So you've got two kind of bunches of information: who they've been in the past, who they want to be in the future. That's who your audience needs to actually be. So I am challenging you to work on this today, to spend an hour. Put yourself alone with a big old pad of paper or a computer spreadsheet if you'd rather, and write down, yes, kitty cat, you don't have to be excited. Write down all of the things that make your ideal client tick, that relate to what you want to help them with. I'm not talking about the things that have nothing to do with anything. I'm talking about the things that actually matter to the way that you would show up with them in a one-on-one call. The things that would make you light up inside because they are like the perfect ideal client and you just can't wait to work with them. Because everything about them says, you are my ideal client. You are perfect for me. You know that feeling. We've all had that feeling a time or two, right? So when is it more than procrastination? Okay, because you're holding back. You're not launching your thing. And the reason that you're not launching your thing is procrastination. Now, the root cause of most procrastinations is fear. So what is it that you're so afraid of happening when it comes to actually taking that next step? What is the thing that is terrifying to you? Hey, Melissa, what is the thing that is terrifying to you about doing the thing? It's fascinating. It really is. So, Melissa, I went back and I talked about your audience. And I talked about the idea that your audience, a lot of gurus out there, try and convince you that you need to spend a lot of time deciding what kind of designer shoes and handbags your ideal client wears and uses. But at the end of the day, that is much less important than the two buckets that are actually important. What are the problems that they actually have that you want to work with? And what are the solutions or the outcomes that you want to help them achieve? That's it in a nutshell. All the other stuff that the gurus have you doing is kind of pointless. I hate to say it, but it is. I mean, every single one of us who has done any kind of business coaching has spent days and days and days thinking about what area of your town your audience lives in, what her name is. You know, you have this avatar and it's her and it's garbage. So stop doing that and start looking at it from, these are the pain points that they have and the struggles that they have, and these are the outcomes that they're looking for. Okay. And then the thing that's holding you back from doing all of this, it's usually a fear of some kind, whether that is a fear of failure or a fear of success. It is a fear. So when you are able to really look at that fear in the face and say, I see you, I recognize you, and not hold yourself back because of it, but to just give yourself exactly, Melissa. Yeah. So what is the opposite of that fear? What does the opposite of that fear look like for you? And here's where it's really good to look at, what is it that is my goal in life? And maybe you have a vision board or a little piece of paper with some pictures on it that shows you what your vision is for your future, what your vision is for your business, for your life. And take little baby steps every day that get you there. Okay. So this is the first of those baby steps is number one, there's actually two things that you're doing today there, Ellie. Number one is writing down your list of what your ideal client actually struggles with and what they want in their future. Okay. Once you know those things, it's much easier to use them as your targeting, not necessarily in the actual ads targeting stuff, which never really works anyways, but in the actual ad copy and the marketing copy and your web page. Everything else comes from really knowing what your ideal client is struggling with and what they actually want from their lives, what they're hoping to gain from working with you. And if you don't know, if you're really at a loss, then here's what I want you to do. Okay. And it's terrifying, and I know that. And it's a procrastination thing, but that's okay. I want you to do it anyways. I want you to find in your group of friends or in your world 3 people who would be your ideal client, who are the kind of people that you think of when you think of people with this problem. You probably have more than that, but I want you to think of at least 3. And I want you to ask them if they would mind helping you with some market research. Say you're not pitching anything, you're not asking for anything, but you know that they're struggling with this thing, with this problem. And you know that that's the thing that you want to help people with. And you really need to get into the mindset of them. And you would really appreciate just having a conversation with them about what that looks like for them, what their issues are, what they really are looking for in their lives. Offer to buy them a coffee or a meal, even better, and see what comes of those questions, those conversations. And you know what? You'll probably be pleasantly surprised. Here's the thing. We are all really, I know for myself, when I first started my very first business, I was uncomfortable asking friends and family for their feedback. I was uncomfortable announcing that I had launched this thing. I was uncomfortable with the idea of asking them for the business. And that was probably the biggest mistake that I made. Because when you are uncomfortable asking friends and family for the business, how on earth can you ever ask a stranger for the business? That's the biggest secret that I want all of you to take. And that's something that I no longer have a problem with. Now I'm like, hey, you need some help with that? I see you are struggling. Can I help you with that? Hey, do you want some help with that? But at the time, 3 years ago now, 3 years ago, almost to the day, I was really struggling with, actually, I think it was 4 years ago. Whew, time flies, man, I tell you. I was really struggling with the idea of putting myself out there with friends and family. And to be perfectly honest, that was a reflection of my past. I was still allowing my past to control my future. And so I don't want you to be doing that. I don't want you to struggle like that. I want you to grab your courage and ask the people that maybe they're not so important to you. Maybe they're not people that you respect or look up to. Maybe they're just people that you know have this problem that you're looking to solve. But maybe they are people that are important to you. But it depends. I mean, just ask. The worst that can happen is they say no. And then you go find somebody else. It's all good. It all works. No matter what, it all works. So that is your first bit of homework when it comes to the checklist, is figuring out your ideal audience, and let's figure out who they actually are, and let's go from there, and then, do baby steps and figure it all out. So I will be here tomorrow again about the same time. Looking forward to giving you guys every day for the next 2 weeks or so, just another little nugget of really good information, really good solid information about how to actually take action on all of the steps that I list in my checklist. Okay? That's all I got for you guys today. So have a fantastic day wherever you are in this big, beautiful world, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye.